quick disclaimer before we begin. This game is not nearly as well explored as other competitive FPS games, so it's very difficult for me to make definitive statements, like this is the best, this is the worst. There are, however, some weapons in this game which are clearly way better than others, to the point where they have literally no downsides. So let's start with probably the most generically overpowered weapon in this game, the CI or CL-19. I have no way to tell if this is an L or an I from this font. This is just a setup I use. I explained the stuff previously in my video about attachments. This thing is stupidly good because it two-shots people in the head and fires really quickly. It fires with this gas block at 759 RPM. Funny enough, even with this one, it would still probably be the fastest two-hit kill to the head weapon, which is sort of incredible if you think about it. It doesn't have the greatest range. I believe it's by default it's 27, not 30. Then let's go to some of the other assault rifle options or assault class options, but you mostly want to use the rifles. The shotguns, I guess the 870 is probably the most interesting one. If we go here, since it has by far the most range. But even this far away, it's a huge pain to kill someone with it. And when people start leaning around things, you basically don't do any damage to them. They are great at like 1 or 2 meters away. SKS, this is basically an auto-clicker gun. If we look at it, it's also a two-shot. It's a 4-hit kill to the body, but you have to click it like 8 or 9 clicks per second, which is way too much to do it humanly while being still accurate. You can do it obviously, but it will be significantly less accurate than holding left click. Then Car 15. This is the generic rifle you start off with. It's very good. It kills about as fast as the BF4 Scar H, which is pretty amazing if you have played that game. It has decent range at 30. It just doesn't barely two-hit kill people to the head. It has the AKM as a competitor, but if you look at the control, it's way better. So yeah, there is very little reason to use this over this. Like I haven't found one yet. Maybe someone will. As well is pretty good. It's probably the, I wouldn't even hesitate to say, second best option after this thing, because it kills about as fast. It needs, I believe, 3 shots to the head. You cannot put the muzzle brake at the front, but it has pretty low recoil. It has this weird zigzag pattern, but you can see this doesn't go up much. Pretty good gun. So maybe one day in the meta this might become the better option. I'm not sure. M4A1, this is highly praised, but like 700, what was this, 60 RPM? Yeah, 760 RPM 4-hit kill with 2-hit kill to the head versus 800 RPM 5-hit kill. You are at a massive disadvantage. And also the recoil isn't anything amazing either. This one has some advantages because it has a lot of attachments, but it's comparable to the Car 15. Honestly, even these two are fairly comparable. This one is obviously better because it also has, I think, 3-hit kill to the head while firing significantly faster. So if you are fighting someone who is just peeking around the corner and showing only their head, the M4 would probably win. Then we have also a direct competitor to the car 15. This thing is probably better, just straight up, because it again two-shots people into the head instead of 3. It has, I believe, well, it doesn't even have significantly more recoil, but it has less attachment options, which is not great. But it's, I would say, almost a straight upgrade to the car 15. QBZ. This gun, why would you use this? M4 has 800 RPM. This thing is 679. And if you look at the control, like, what's the point? I honestly can't see a reason to use this when ASVAL exists, for example, which has slightly less range. So I guess if we just compare it to the M4, since it's more similar, this is still a little more range, but still terrible, honestly. 10 meters more range for 120 less, 21 less RPM. I am honestly not sure if this doesn't just win even when it's in the lower damage ranges. If it needs like one more shot to kill, it might still win that this one. SG552. This is a joke of a weapon. This 900 RPM. If you look at the control, whatever. 6 hit kill. Versus the ASVAL being 5 hit kill and firing faster. Why? Like seriously, why would you use this? Even the AKS probably seems better. The AKS is interesting because you cannot put a long barrel on it, so you can actually extend this range. But again, this does 2 shots to the head, if we go here. But why? Again, this thing actually has pretty bad recoil, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this has pretty terrible recoil compared to something like this thing. And shoots slower, has the same range, same damage profile. Like, there is no good reason to use this. M4A4, M16A4, also terrible. You are limited to burst, but it's not even very accurate. This is just a weird representation, but it kicks a lot even in one burst. Barely fires faster than something like the Car 15. I guess if you have some macro, you can try this, but I wouldn't recommend that. Next, medic, or support, or whatever they are called in this. We get a few more submachine guns. The Bison, not terrible, surprisingly. Unlike in most games. This has the same damage profile as the Car 15. Has a bigger magazine. Has a weird recoil pattern, but much better handling stats because it's an SMG. Probably also accuracy. Accuracy in this case relates to hip fire. Yeah. But still, not much of a reason to use it. HK416 or K416. 880 RPM. This is basically a faster firing M4 with less range. That's how you can imagine it. It also has more recoil. Yeah, it's a lot worse, but not too unmanageable. So if you want to have 10% faster fire rate and 1/3 less range, I guess go for this. I was hoping this wouldn't be as bad. It had the same issues in the technical test. Yeah. Uzi, pretty terrible. Like, why would you use the Uzi over the K416? Unless there is some kind of attachment that makes it fire faster, but I don't think so. BTS. Okay, this is at least 4 hit kill. So this is probably a better Bison, I would assume. has some recoil, but still 15 range. This thing is interesting. This has significantly more range. It fires at 600 RPM. You would think this might two-shot to the head or something, but since it's an SMG, what I noticed in my last video, I don't know how I never noticed that, SMGs effectively have no headshot multiplier. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not even like 1.5 times more damage. So with SMGs you literally never shoot people in the head. Which makes them really bad. It's kind of why I was wondering for the longest time why the SMGs kind of suck. Now we get to more weird guns. This is P90. It's basically comparable to the 416 in fire rate. It's a little faster, much less range, and interestingly the SMGs have steeper damage drop-off. Even if they seem to have similar range, they drop off much faster. SR3M, this kills pretty quickly. This kills about as fast as the CI 19, which is surprising. It is a 3-hit kill to the head, which is also weird, even though it has the same damage. Doesn't get increased barrel length. So yeah, it's okay. I guess it's considered an SMG, something in between an SMG and an assault rifle. The vertical recoil is not very high. It moves side to side. Also not the worst. But still, not that much reason to use it when this thing exists. Yeah, the MP5. This thing just makes this look like a joke, honestly. Except I guess one more shot to the head. Shoots way faster. It has way less recoil. Like the SR3 was like somewhere up here. So much less. You get a pretty good 50-round magazine on it, but even the 30-round one is okay. You can nicely extend the range with the suppressor the SMGs get. I mentioned it already. These suppressors give 2 more meters of range, which kind of makes the longest barrel not as necessary on them. This thing is also a beast in hip fire. Some sort of build like this. Because it kills incredibly quickly. It kills about as quickly as the Vector, which is just brutal. MP7. MP7 is, well, very good if you disregard the MP5 and the Vector. It has longer range than either of them by like 5 meters, which is quite a bit. But again, it doesn't offer too many advantages if we look into control. It has significantly higher recoil than the MP5, while killing slower, which, like, if you know anything about weapon balance, should immediately tell you that that's some mess up by the developers. And then there is the Vector. This kills, I think, the fastest out of any gun in the game. Maybe one there, comparable to the MP5, it's not a huge difference. This thing is pretty incredible. Sadly, the magazine options are not great, because when you get this 40-round one, you can get the 30-round one, which is, I would use this. If this was a game like Battlefield 4, when you fight like one person at a time, I would totally use this. The main reason why I'm so used to these larger magazines in this game is because a huge amount of fights in this game are like 1v2, 1v3, or like you kill one guy and half a second later another one comes around the corner. You have this massive 60-round magazine, 70 actually round magazine, which doesn't actually decrease your stats by that much, but it decreases them by a lot, considering you don't have that many attachment options. Again, you don't have this rear grip, and even the front grips are more limited than even on some other SMGs. The MP5 doesn't have this, for example, it can put the larger front grips. You get this barrel, which is really good, because it adds 4 of these patches, unlike most guns, which add like 2. If you heard that, that was my discarping. I had to disable the streamer mode because it was annoying. I also have a hipfire loadout for this, which I use on the one map where you would consider hipfire being really useful, the shafted map. Especially on Conquest, which is more chaotic than attack defend. This is pretty ridiculous. Let me just demonstrate how stupid this is. Yeah, this is... You also move very quickly. The recoil is pretty bad though, even when holding breath and firing, obviously. But if you just come around the corner, you can just gun down 5-6 people with this, and it's incredible. Obviously, you'll run into the problems of this being an SMG, and when people camp and only show their face, it's a problem. It's still by far the best weapon for this class. Only competitor, I would say, is the MP5. But MP5 has a different recoil layout. I mentioned this in my attachments video. You can see the red dot moves above the center of the screen, which means you actually get more recoil in the first shots. You have to pull your mouse down more. Compared to the vector, where you get the opposite. You can see the red dot is below the center of the screen when firing. This means, especially if you are very precise, you actually barely pull down. You can see I instinctively pull down more because I'm just so used to having things like first shot recoil in Battlefield. So yeah, that's mostly it for the medic. Let's go to the engineer. We get a few more weapons. This is a downgrade of the PTR-32 in like every way. It even does less damage. I think it has slightly more range, but 543 RPM. Might as well use this at that point. I guess you can extend the barrel on this. Oh yeah, you can actually get a longer barrel on this. So you can get some decent range with this. It's not completely terrible, and still not great. Shoots really slowly. This is again one of the... It's like... I don't know why the engineer has longer range weapons than other classes. Doesn't make much sense. Again, more range. I think this is comparable to the QBZ actually. This might be 679, and this is... So no, the QBZ, I think... No, 679. Yeah, this is literally a QBZ. That's cute. Basically copy-pasted the same weapon. Skyage, this was amazing in the technical test, because it was a theoretical gun that most of the classes could get. It got nerfed, it fires now significantly slower. There's still a lot of range, but the damage drop-off is pretty steep. And you have guns like, for example, yeah, this one is pretty comparable, and there's the PTR. In the past, the Skyage was firing as fast as the PTR-32. Now it shoots much slower, so yeah, it's mostly a downgrade, sadly. Ash 12, this is actually a pretty strong gun. It has a lot of recoil, sadly, but it kills very quickly. Because it's 2 hit kill to the body, 3 hit kill to the body, and 2 hit kill to the head. 1, 2, 3. the recoil and the fire rate isn't that great. It still kills really quickly. And there's a lot of range. M7. Yeah, again, this was very comparable to the Sky in the past. Now it's just pretty much a flat upgrade. Just more recoil, I think. It's important. Yeah, it has more recoil. By a lot more because it also fires faster. But it has also a lot of the attachment points, like the Sky Edge, so there's very little reason not to use this over the Sky Edge. Car 15, you know. Now let's get to the machine guns. Let's get this one first. This one, pretty strong. This kills faster than the M4 and has more range than the M4. Well, this is no joke. The only problem with the machine guns is, yeah, the ADS movement speed is not great. Even the walk speed, I believe it's lower than the walk speed on rifles. And this is pretty good. Same with this one. This one is 4-hit kill. Again, with a lot of range. This is the same range as the M7. There's a lot of recoil. This one doesn't even have that much recoil. Pretty strong weapons, these LMGs, and I see them being very underutilized. This M14 I haven't played too much with. It seems pretty strong. Yeah. This is a pretty strong weapon. 727. That's pretty close to the CI thing. It has even the same damage drop off, so this is a very effective weapon. I think it has more eco though. That's not that big of a deal. And then there is, of course, the last thing you unlock, and similar to the medic class and the assault class, the last thing you unlock is the most OP. This thing fires at 550 RPM, so this fires 10% faster than the Ash 12. Has the same range, says 3-hit kill to the body. It sadly has the slow movement speed. And quite a bit of recoil, but it's insane. Like you technically get a massive magazine on this. 125 RPM. If we go to modified, I haven't unlocked everything for this yet. You get only 6 handling by reducing that. So, and even then, you still have 75 RPM. So, sorry, 75 rounds in the magazine, which is still a lot for a 3-hit kill gun. So you basically never have to worry about not having enough ammo. You also get a bipod for free on this gun, which is interesting. You don't get that many attachment slots, especially for the patches. That's something to remember. But this thing doesn't need much. It's stupid. Like, it kills about as fast as the Vector, and it has way more range. This gun is pretty insane, honestly. Only problem is on the engineer, which can't kill very effectively. The rocket launcher, I should explain. I believe it's one hit people to the body, which is stupidly strong, by the way. The muzzle velocity is abysmal. The javelin might as well not exist, but funny enough, this thing fires missiles at the same speed or comparable speed to the fastest ball throws in the world. You can probably throw an object faster than this missile in this game, which is insane. Sadly, you can't put this on a vehicle, by the way, unlike in Battlefield 2042, which is thankfully not such a downgrade of this game that this game even fixed the bugs of it. Stinger also pretty useless, so yeah, just use the 84. It's stupidly good against vehicles. It does like 1/3 HP to even the tanks, or 1/4, and it kills some vehicles in like 2 shots. And they can't do anything to it other than activate APS, but because of how the game currently works, your tracers disappear after a couple meters, so they probably don't see the missile unless they're looking directly at you when you fire it. Ah yes, the most toxic class in the game. Both of these girls are incredibly toxic. This one has the flash drone, this one has the detection arrow. Respawn beacon, obviously. The claymores, thankfully, in this game are terrible. Thank God. Well, let's talk about the main rifles. The only thing that's new here are some of these DMRs. SKs we had an assault, auto-clicker weapon. This is even more of an auto-clicker weapon. This is almost 600 RPM. If you don't know, 600 RPM is 10 clicks per second. You can try and go to an auto-clicker and try to click 10 times a second. Go! Let's see how many percentage of my audience can pull this off. I don't think that many. But other than that, this gun is stupid, if you think about it. You have 90-meter range, and even then it drops off to a 5-hit kill. So, yeah, you have insane range compared to like every other gun in the game. And you don't really shoot, like 40 RPM is a bit, but not that much. And if you really look at this thing has incredible recoil. Like, holy shit. It's like no side-to-side recoil whatsoever. I don't know what the devs were thinking with this gun. This is completely unusable. Also, this description is completely wrong, I believe. What is it? Yeah, mild recoil and good accuracy. Yeah, it's very bad for hip fire. But this is stupid. I'm honestly expecting some script kiddies to already use this. I haven't been killed by it too many times, but it's insane. SVD sniper rifle. Why? 3-hit kill, 300 RPM. I guess you can kill people at further ranges, but if you meet someone with the LMG or MMG, you just die long before you fire the 3 hits. This one is slightly faster firing, more range. This is just probably a straight upgrade. I think it has more recoil though. Oh, honestly, not even. And much more attachment slots on this one. I have seen people claim this one is good because it... whatever this is. It does have recoil, so as you can see, that's not... If I click as fast as possible, this does go up. But apparently you can reduce it so that it doesn't even go up. Why would you use this again? Sniper rifles. Honestly, if you want to camp somewhere far back, might as well use this thing. This at least has significant DPS. These things... First of all, you need to hit people in the head. And you either take this one for the fastest RPM, or you take this one for the fastest bullet velocity. I don't see much of a reason to use, for example, this one or this one. Honestly, not my place. I hate to camp somewhere in the back and just shoot people. It's miserable. Yeah, those are all the weapons for the infantry in this game. As a recon, if you are not using macros, use probably the Car 15 or the AKS if you are a wizard at hitting people twice in the head in a row, which is very difficult with the recoil pattern it has. Oh, I forgot this one, VSS. You still need to click stupidly quickly, but this is 4-hit kill. Muzzle velocity 300. I don't understand what's the point of this gun, honestly, when this exists, which shoots... What is that? 110 RPM more? Honestly, I hope I'll be proven wrong on these claims, but at least statistically, most of the guns in this game look terrible. And some, like you have seen with have better recoil, better DPS, even more attachment slots. Everything just straight upgrades over others. So yeah, I guess use the CI 19 until they nerf it. If you want to just farm people, or the vector in the on maps where there is not much head glitch cover. Yeah, honestly, this is pretty sad about this game. I don't understand why they did what they did, and I hope this gets at least somewhat fixed, and I can make a better video later on. Yeah, please like, share, subscribe, tell other people about it, because there will be certainly videos around. I have already seen videos where someone goes like, ah yes, the Uzi is the best submachine gun in the game, or whatever downgrade of a weapon is the best gun in the world. It's not. You can look at the numbers yourself. And have a nice day.